China is here, guys. China arrived today in the dev server with two new Z-10's. So let's take a look onto them. And later, today I'm gonna do basically a normal dev updated video, right? So today we're just starting off the day with the two new helicopters for China. The first one is this one that was in the files already. We already talked about it. The Z-10ME. Basically a modernized export model that has more power, has a radar, although it's not working right now, but it will have. And yeah, it will have better defense systems, overall better weapons, although in the game right now, it is using the same Z-10 weapons that you normally see, the AKD-10, I think it's called, right, and the TY-90. And the same gun and everything. So it's pretty much the same helicopter, probably just, you know, more thrust, the radar, and a better defense system. You know, it has armor plates around the cockpit and the engine. So yeah, it is an interesting helicopter. But to be honest, I was expecting more differences. So let's wait and see, because of course everything is work in progress and not everything is final right now, right? So you have the normal gun over here. You do have our beloved... Oh, we forgot to turn the laser in time. I think it will work. But yeah, you have the AKD-10, which is a pretty good missile. 10 kilometers range and stuff. But it's nothing like too fancy. It was already in the other helicopter. So yeah, one thing that I noticed is that indeed it feels a little bit stronger on the engine side. You have to use less collective to climb and everything. It's kind of funny. And the design is a lot cooler, isn't it? It looks a lot more menacing than the original Z-10. Of course, you do have your countermeasures. And although it is a heavily armored vehicle, it is very light and very nimble as well. So this will be on the top of the line on the Z-10. Like I said, still work in progress. We do not have a cockpit, for example. So you can expect this thing to maybe receive new weapons, maybe be different. We don't know yet, right? So yeah. And of course, we have the TY-90 as well, which is arguably one of the best... you know, defense missiles in the game for helicopters. It has one of the best IRCCMs. Back in the day, it was the best IRCCM in the game. Now we have better stuff, you know, with the addition of the new AA systems and everything. And the range of this thing is actually pretty alright, actually. So it doesn't have a helmet, but yeah, we are too far away to launch these missiles on a MiG. But you get the point, right? So same weapons, same everything, just... you know, a more modern look to what the Z-10 was, which is all right. Yeah, it's all right. So here it is. As you can see, it is a top tier vehicle, 12.0, and the normal Z-10 is 11.7. That's why I think this thing will actually have better weapon basically in the future, and the radar is not working yet, and etc, right? So we will have better stuff, I would assume, right? For now it's this, but I'm pretty sure there are better missiles that can be used, and people were talking about it. So just think about that, okay? You can also of course use the AKD-9, but it's way worse. You can use some gun pods as well, some rocket pods, and the TY-90 as well. You can take, I mean, 16 of these if you want to have an AA system. The interesting part is that indeed this thing has some interesting mechanics over here. So it has Kevlar, boron, carbide protection plates. So that's fancy, right? So 8mm, as you see. The effectiveness, say it's pretty much the same, but I would assume that it is not as heavy as normal steel plates, I would assume, right? And with this, basically, we will have a little bit more protection to the pilots and the gunner, right? And the engines as well. And you can see here, a very interesting thing about helicopters is that it has different ideas behind it. So, for example, this engine, this is 1,280 horsepower. I don't think it's the right power yet. It should be stronger than this. But, yeah, it has basically improved filters to be used in desert situations and other things, and it has the engines pointed to, like towards the sky over here, to be able to be less I have a smaller IR signature coming from manpads and stuff. And as you see over here, we have sensors and everything here. I would assume that it's part of the MOL system. We have all sorts of sensors, you know, all around the vehicle, which I think it is for the MOL system. We do have a MOL system, although I'm pretty sure this one already had one, doesn't it? No, it does not. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the things. So it has a mouse, which is pretty good, right? But I would assume that maybe it should receive some better weapons. I don't know. Let's wait and see, right? And then we have the Z-10A. This is the premium rank 7. This is basically an improvement over the original one, but it doesn't bring as many improvements like the ME, right? So for example, the engines are still positioned in the same way, the filters, everything, it is positioned in the same way. It does have the armor plating that the original Z-10 does not have, and in the modifications still uses the same, you know, weapons and everything, and it should be weaker on the engine. Like I said, that other one is actually supposed to be stronger, right? And of course, it will not have the MOL system, but it does have a laser warning system, which is pretty interesting. So let's fly this thing and see if it actually is worth to keep this thing. So as you see over here, you can basically have the same payload, which is, I mean, I don't complain, but it's weird that there are a lot of people that are saying that these things can carry better weapons and they don't have it. I might be completely wrong. I don't know, actually. But yeah. So yeah, it looks very simple compared to the other one, doesn't it? Like, it looks a little bit naked even, without the radar and the MOL systems and everything. It looks a lot more simpler, right? So it is pretty much just a normal Z-10 with the laser warning system, if I'm not mistaken, and the composite armor, or the Kevlar armor, right? Everything else is pretty much the same as the normal one, and you will see that being one thing that will basically just... Why is it firing? Oh, okay. But yeah, so it is pretty interesting, but at the same time, it is what we already know from a Z-10, right? So these are it, basically, guys. These are the 2 new helicopters for China. I think China could use some new helicopters. You know, it was a nation that the Z-10 was already kind of old compared to most of the other nations in comparison to technology and stuff. Still doesn't have like a fire and forget missile like some of the other nations have, or anything too advanced, but this AKD, it's not a bad missile. It has a okay range, 10 kilometers, and yeah, it's not a bad missile. It's just that, of course, there are other nations out there that have better stuff, so I was wondering if they are gonna add something like this for the other nations. So is it worth to get this thing? Well, let's wait to see the price. It will be pretty expensive, right? I still believe probably not, because it is basically the same helicopter that you have in the Tech Tree. So just get the one in the Tech Tree and it's free, right? It's not unique in any means normally, so it's only if you really want to grind helicopters. But remember, guys, you can grind in other ways using tanks, so not really worth it in my opinion. But you do you, right? If you want to buy it, let me know in the comments if you will get it, okay? And let me know in the comments as well what you think about the ME. That one, I think it's going to be very cool. Oh my god. And yeah, very interesting sets of modernized versions of the Z-10, right? So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye, guys. See ya.